takes. Trae Young making history last night, becoming the first ever player to score 56 points and dish out 14 assists in a game. Wow, Perk, should Trae Young start in the All-Star game?
Charlie, I love Trae Young, but no, he shouldn't start. And it's not because of his individual play, but because I go off of wins. Not only do you have to put up numbers with me, you actually have to win games. And right now, the Hawks are sitting in the 12th spot, and they're not playing good basketball. 4 games below 500 is not going to cut it.
All right, fair point. This next one is for JJ. Jimmy Butler went down last night in the Heat's game versus the Warriors, and he had to be helped off the court. So, JJ, what is the impact of a Jimmy Butler loss to Miami right now?
If this is a long-term injury, there's definitely an impact. If this is just a short-term injury, I think it's minimal. They currently sit in 4th in the East. I expect them to finish right around there at the end of the season. They just had an 8-2 stretch where they played the majority of those games without Jimmy and, of course, without Bam. And Bam is also scheduled to come back sooner rather than later. They're getting great contributions from a number of guys. Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin. It's Heat culture, hashtag Heat culture.
All right, well, Jimmy Butler's injury still needs to be further evaluated, but Coach said he feels fine. Okay, let's move on to Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, who took down the Nets last night in Brooklyn. Morant dropping 36 points in 5. Grizzlies scored in double figures as Memphis extended its winning streak to 5 games. Now, despite not having his best game, Durant is a favorite of many to win MVP. He has the second shortest odds behind Steph Curry, according to Caesars Sportsbook. So, Perk, who do you think should be the NBA MVP?
Well, it's not neither one of those guys that's on the list. Here's the thing, and it's no disrespect. I feel like that we're to a point of an NBA season that is going to fluctuate throughout the season because guys are playing at a high level. But Charlie and JJ, let me take y'all on a trip to the dark side. I'm staying on the dark side, where a guy they have a nickname for a guy that's called G12. You know who G12 is? That's Ja Morant. And the G stands for gangster, okay? And we know that the gangsters are lurking down there in Memphis right now. And see, here's the thing. Ja Morant, what he's doing right now, he is the MVP of late, in my opinion. No disrespect to DeMar DeRozan. He's been balling. But Ja Morant, any guy that he faces, superstar talent, he has been walking off the floor as the best player. LeBron James comes into Memphis, put up 37 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists or something to that nature. Ja Morant hands him a 41-piece wing dinner with 10 biscuits on the side. Okay, he goes on the road in Phoenix, beats them on their home court with a game-winning layup, Kyrie Irving style. The Memphis Grizzlies are the only team led by Ja Morant to beat the top 3 teams in the Western Conference on their home court. So when I look at what Ja Morant is doing, his leadership, his swagger. Jay, you a big social media guy. He's that guy that goes on social media and talk that big talk and back it up the next game. He's one of the most unguardable guys in the league today. He's a generational talent. And if I had to pick an MVP today, next Monday may change, but today, right now, it's Ja Morant. G12.
Perk, you know that I love Ja. I find him to be one of the most entertaining players in the league. He'll make his first All-Star game this year.
Oh, get it out.
No, hold on.
Get it out.
Legit chance to make all NBA. He's going to win Most Improved Player. He's not in the top 5 of the MVP race right now. Let me tell you why, real quick. Let me just tell you why. When he plays, you just said, by the way, about Trae Young, winning matters. When he plays, the Grizzlies are 14-12. The 12 games he missed, they were 10-2. For the season, he still has a negative net rating for the Grizzlies when he's on the court. Winning matters. If we're talking about the last 6 games, yeah, you can make an argument that he's the MVP of the last 6 games of the season. But right now, Steph Curry is the clear frontrunner. He's the best player on the best team. But Ja Morant is not in my top 5 right now. That's not to say he's not in my top 5 or 6 favorite players or best players right now, but he's not in the top 5. It's Steph, KD, Giannis, Jokic, and you laughed at me on November 16th when I said you could make an argument that DeMar DeRozan is a top 3 candidate for MVP. I put DeMar top 5 right now, too.
I did not laugh at you. I did not laugh at you.
We'll find the tape.
We'll find the tape, Kirk. Okay, well, go pull it up. First of all, let me say this to you, okay? Again, winning matters, okay? If last time I checked, Memphis is sitting at the 4th spot, okay? They're winning games. And JJ, look, I'm very disappointed in you right now because as a former player, don't come telling me about a net rating and come telling me about this, that, and that Memphis record without Ja. Ja is Memphis. Ja is Memphis. The reason that Memphis is relevant is because of Ja Morant. See, you supposed to come on here, and we supposed to, as former athletes and former hoopers, we supposed to give the audience through a different lens. Not coming on here speaking numbers, but what we see from the eye test. Like watching the game last night when he went into Brooklyn, when it's him, it's KD, it's James Harden all on the floor together, and all of a sudden he comes out as the winner and the best player on the floor. And he does it in great fashion. This is what I'm saying. So when we talk about of late, and we talk about the wins and how he's winning and who is he doing it against, go against all those guys that they have on that list except for the Bulls because they haven't played them recently, and go look at Ja numbers and come back and tell me right now that he shouldn't be the front runner. You don't even have him in the conversation, which is flat out disrespectful.
He's in the conversation if we're going to name 6 or 7 guys, Perk. But look, Perk, the eye test certainly matters in this. And as a former player, we can get caught up in numbers a lot. And we talk about front office, media. Everybody gets caught up in numbers. Net rating is not that complicated of a number. When you're on the court, how many points do you give up defensively per 100 possessions? How many points do you score per 100 possessions? That's basketball. There's 100 possessions roughly in a game, give or take. That's basketball. So his rating per 100 possessions is negative for the season. Now, 19 games, pre-injury, that's a small sample size. I get it. The last 6 games, even smaller sample size. He's been phenomenal when we talk about net rating. I think it's somewhere around 16 or 17 positive. Great. That's great. Steph Curry, best player on the best team. Giannis having another amazing season. That team has an incredible record when him, Drew, and Chris Middleton play. They sit 2 games out of first place in the East right now. You can make an argument for Giannis. You can make an argument for Jokic. Somehow that team, having all those injuries, all those illnesses with COVID, they're in 5th place in the West, and he's having an historic season. Ja Morant's awesome. I'm not knocking Ja Morant at all, but he's not in that conversation right now. He's in the conversation for All-Star, All-NBA, and Most Improved Player.
Well, Mr. Redick, first of all, didn't I just say that this is one of those seasons that month by month the MVP is going to fluctuate? So over the last 2.5 weeks. Okay, so we all know that you go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, right? You can tell the world this. I know this. You go to bed early. Memphis seems to play late games, okay? So you're going to tell me.
I watched the game last night, I stayed up and watched the game last night.
Not just that game. I'm not even talking about Memphis. Golden State has been playing, they play late games. For the last 2 weeks, Steph Curry has been in the slump. Yeah. So you mean to tell me over the last 2 weeks that Steph Curry, the way that he has been playing, he's still the clear front runner over a lot of those guys, including Ja Morant? Like, Jay, I need you to go back and revisit Ja Morant last 5 games, and then we need to come back on here again. I don't know what day you're working on First Take, but I work every day. I need you to come back on here so we can revisit this conversation because you tripping right now. And here's the thing about the net rating. The net rating may not be that hard, but the net rating and the 100 possessions, and hey, you know, when this guy's on this side of the floor, he makes 100% of his shots on this right elbow, and I don't want to hear that, because that, along with analytics and all that, is the reason why a guy like Carmelo Anthony was out the league. It's the reason why a guy like Isaiah Thomas is fighting getting back into the league, because we get caught up in too much per 100 possessions this and per 100 possessions on this defensive rating, instead of just watching to see what the hell these guys are doing.
Look, we could get into a very long debate about analytics versus the eye test.
We sure could.
Hey, we could. And listen, I believe there's value in both, Perk. There's value in both. The thing you said that I will agree with, and we can come on here once a week and talk about this all you want, is this MVP race. It's one of the most fascinating races that we've had recently in the NBA because it does seem like week to week, the front runner has changed. And I am agreeing with you. Yes, if we look at the last 6 games, not the first game Ja was back, the last 6 games, he is playing at an MVP level. The Memphis Grizzlies are 5-1 in those games. So yes, I'm talking about as a whole, roughly 35, 36 games now that we've played with 40-some to go. Yes. Yes, I'm talking about the whole season, all 35, 36 games. Ja Morant is not the MVP, okay?
Okay, but let's just look at the last 4 games. Ja's had 36, 30, 41, 33. He had one word that he tweeted out last night. Listen, he had one word he tweeted out last night. It was hungry.
I love his attitude.
Yeah, his name's G12.
We'll have this conversation next week.
It's G12 to you, JJ.
And see how it changes. Guys, neither of you are going anywhere. Thank goodness we need more of this after the break. But also in just a bit, we asked Mina Kimes yet again to take over Steven's A-list. So who comes in at her #1 spot this week? Mina's Power Rankings coming up. Stay tuned.
I'm on fire. I gotta get it, keep my mind